Good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel. Before I go any further, my final word, the last word about how the videos are going to look. Basically I should have listened to you guys. You were absolutely right. The only way to do this now I think is to do the videos in two parts. So on Saturday mornings I'll be doing sort of a chit chat roundup, everything that's been going off on the group, just talk about the posts that have been going on there, that kind of thing. And Sundays will be for the top 10 reviews, things I've bought, all that kind of thing. As I say, you guys were absolutely right. I tried it slightly differently last week, doing sort of reviews separately and this separately, and it looked and sounded awful. So yeah, I should have listened to you guys. So that's what I'm going to be doing from now on. So you'll get the chit chat roundup on a Saturday and all the other stuff on a Sunday morning. They should be about half an hour each, but they might fall slightly short of that depending on how much I've actually got to say and how much I've got to talk about. We'll see how we go with that one. The first one I'll do very quickly because I've not written it down on my notes and I've literally just remembered it. Guy, really good to see you on 4K, mate, on that big screen. It looks awesome. I actually bought Star Wars on 4K last week and the week before. I'll probably be showing that one off tomorrow actually, and it does look absolutely amazing. So yeah, really pleased about that, and I'm so pleased you're watching me in on a big screen. It's quite daunting when you first see it because I watched one of my videos on my new setup last week, and yeah, it looks great, I must admit, but it's a little bit odd seeing yourself blown up to that size. But yeah, glad you've gone big screen, mate. I think you've gone Sky Glass, haven't you? So you'll have to let me know how you get on with that. First of all, Dave Oliver, loved the VHS review. You quite like that. I've not seen it yet, but I have put it on my watch list, as I've also put all the other VHS movies on my watch list because I love these portmanteau type horror films, getting sort of 4 or 5 stories in one movie. Movies like Creepshow, and in the 70s we had films like Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, Dr. Terror's House of Horror. It's almost like you're getting 5 mini horror films for the price of one, and I've always loved them. Those Amicus movies I could watch over and over again and have done. I watched Dr. Terror's House of Horrors last night and thoroughly enjoyed it, even though I've seen it hundreds of times. Still loved it. So yeah, I do love that particular format, so I will be watching the VHS movies, including the 99 that you reviewed. Evil Dead Rise, I believe we're getting a first look at it very, very shortly. Can't wait to see what they've done with it. The only 2 Evil Dead movies I've seen are the first one and Evil Dead 2. I haven't actually seen, is it Army of Darkness? Not seen that one yet. For some reason I've avoided it for quite a few years. I don't know why. The idea of it never appealed to me, but I know I've got to watch it because it's part of the trilogy. And if Evil Dead Rise is anything to do with following on from that, any kind of a sequel, I'm going to need to watch the third one. But chances are I will watch all 3 again, because I did enjoy the first one. And I certainly enjoyed Evil Dead 2, which I remember going to see at a cinema in Derby. So yeah, I will be taking a look at that. So I can't wait to see your thoughts on the first look on Evil Dead Rise when it hits. I shall have a look as well, and we can compare notes on that one. Your review of the movie X, that has just turned up on, it's either Shudder or Prime. And I was looking at the trailer for that and it looks amazing. Then I saw your review of it and thought I really need to have a look at that. It's like you say, it looks like a completely different take on the slasher genre. So yeah, I love anything that's a bit different, you know what I mean? Because I don't know about you, well I do know about you actually, because the slasher genre it's getting a little bit stale now, isn't it? I'll be giving you my thoughts tomorrow on Halloween Ends, which I watched last weekend. I'll be doing that one tomorrow. So I don't know. It's just getting a little bit not boring, but sort of samey, isn't it now? So to see something different, as you do with the that next film that you were talking about, I'm looking forward to watching that. So I might try and take that in over the next couple of days and let you know what I think about that one. But you were certainly impressed with that. Um, and I think if you like it, I probably will as well, but we shall see. So I'll give you my thoughts on that one. I've actually given it a watch. Chris, the Horathon, loving it, absolutely loving it. Not loving the bleeding jump scares though. That's twice you've got me this week. But the movies you're watching, can't fail them. The Ring, the trailer that you put on, sat through that. I haven't seen that for years, and halfway through it, my phone rang. Um, Made me jump because I'd actually got the ringtone on quite loud. I was waiting for a call, but I didn't think it'd come halfway through that, so that caught me off guard. Hereditary. I've never seen it. I do want to watch it. It's one that I've seen sort of clips of. I've seen stills from the movie. I've read reviews that say it's a little bit on the controversial side. It's got certain scenes in there that are what you would class as a little bit disturbing, so I will get round to that one. I believe that's on Shudder or Prime, so I'm going to stick that one on my watch list and let you know what I think. Interesting about the heart monitor experiment that we're doing. I've never heard of that being done. I've heard of things like, when The Exorcist opened, I believe they had priests and nurses outside the cinema, sort of that kind of thing, but not with heart monitors. That's a new one on me. So Fright Night Part 2, never seen it. Seen the original, remember seeing that again at the local cinema when it opened in '85 and loved it, and I've seen it a few times since and always enjoy it. I don't know why I never watched Fright Night 2, but listening to you talking about it, I have put it on my watch list and I do really want to give it a look now. I think you said you preferred it to the original, which is unusual for a sequel, so yeah, I definitely do want to give that a go. Trick or Treat, that's one I definitely want to watch. It's another of these portmanteau horror films. So yes, I might even try and take that one in tonight, because I found it on, I think it's on Prime or on Netflix, I can't remember. But I shall try and take that one in because I love the sound of that. Scream, legendary. Wes Craven's comeback, brilliant movie. Not sure about the sequels, but the original Scream was just brilliant. Typical Wes Craven. And House of the Devil, I saw a long, long time ago. If I remember right, it's got a very, very 1970s feel and look to it, which is what I liked about it, if I remember right. You'll have to let me know what you thought of that one. I'd be curious to see or hear what you thought of that. Right, on to Jason. I've actually got yours on the sheet here rather than a card. Put them all down on here. Remakes, reboots and rehashes. Again, loving these, Jace. Can't wait to see what comes next. What we had this week, Dawn of the Dead. I remember when the original Dawn of the Dead came out, 1978 or 79. And there were a lot of people that I knew that had been to see it at the cinema and said it was as gory as hell, really, really nasty. I watched it and thought, yes, there were sequences in there that were a little bit horrible. The guy getting the top of his head lobbed off by a helicopter blade, that was one. But the movie itself I thought was brilliant. There are so many different cuts of it out there though. I think there's an Argento cut, there's a director's cut, there's a theatrical version. There are so many. The one I've seen is the one that runs at about 2 hours and 10 minutes. So whichever one that is, that's the one I've seen. But I do love Dawn of the Dead. Seen it a few times. As for the remake, I think I've only ever seen the first few minutes of it. I don't know whether I was put off by it because the zombies are quite fast moving in that one, aren't they? So that's probably what put me off it. I don't know, but as far as I'm concerned, Dawn of the Dead, it's got to be the original with that one. Fright Night, we're just talking about this one on Chris's Horathon. Definitely for me the original, but I'm only saying that because I haven't seen Fright Night Part 2. But it has gone on my watch list, so I will be taking a look. Flatliners, creepy as fuck. I do remember this one. Kiefer Sutherland. Can't remember who else was in it. It's got quite a star cast on it though. Kevin Bacon, if I remember right. Wasn't there a story in that, or a nightmare in that, to do with a kid, a child? I'm sure there was, and it was really creepy. I've not seen the remake, for no other reason than I've just never been around when it's been showing or whatever. So I don't know about that. So as far as Flatliners go, it would definitely be the original for me on that one. The Invisible Man. I loved the original 1933. Was it 33? Claude Rains black and white version. I loved all of those Universal horror movies of the 30s and 40s. This was a particularly good one. I actually watched it probably a couple of weeks ago, and it still holds up now as really, really good. As for the remake, I've not seen it, but I have heard very, very good things about it. So I will be tracking that one down and taking a look. But if I had to choose between the two now, I would say the Universal original on that. Firestarter. I've not seen either one. This came out in the 80s, I believe, starred Drew Barrymore, based on a Stephen King book. Um, I don't know why I never watched this. I don't find fire particularly scary. Um, Obviously, it is if you're trapped in one, but on film, I don't know. I mean, after you've seen The Towering Inferno, which is like the ultimate, for me, the ultimate movie to do with fire, I don't think anything can get any better than that. But maybe I should take it in. I do know the remake got mostly terrible reviews, really, really bad ones. So that's another thing that probably put me off watching the original, but I really should take it in. Child's Play. Enjoyed the remake, it wasn't bad. But given the choice again, it would definitely be the original from '88. Uh, it was just something, again, it was something completely different back then. It wasn't, your typical formula sort of horror movie. We'd not seen anything quite like that for quite a while, sort of killer dolls. I think the last one I remember before that would have been the segment in a movie called Trilogy of Terror. If you've not seen it, I'll put the trailer on if I think on. But that was another movie that had three stories within one, and the last one was to do with a voodoo doll. Um, it's hard to explain. I need to put the trailer on for this, so you'll see what I mean. But that was the last one I could remember that was any kind of a killer doll movie. So it was quite new back then. So yes, I would definitely say the original on that. We had a bit of fun last week with 70s posters, didn't we? I can't remember how it started now. I think I was commenting on your post of remakes to do with Rabid, and I said that I remember going to see the original on a double bill with another Cronenberg movie called Shivers. Put the poster on, and it did get quite a reaction. I don't know whether it's just me, but cinema artwork and posters was so much better. They were so much cooler back in the 70s and 80s. I don't think they're anything close to that now. I mean, a lot of them were hand drawn. They were sort of properly designed. They were really, really class looking things. I think I put the poster up for the double bill of Rabbit and Shivers, which I love, and also the one for Alligator, which was superb. And a lot of the posters from that era are the ones that I've got upstairs on the wall. I don't think I'd have a poster from a movie today, but I do love the poster artwork from the 70s and 80s. I've yet to get Saturday Night Fever and Close Encounters. I did have Saturday Night Fever, an original poster from 1977 with the certificate X in the corner. And I remember several years ago somebody telling me that their child was having a sort of a 70s day at school, and had I got anything 70s related. And stupidly at the time, I gave him this poster and said, just give it this, Saturday Night Fever. You can't get any more 1970s than that. And I never got it back, which is a shame, because it's actually worth, I would imagine it's worth hundreds of pounds now. But yeah, cinema artwork of the 70s and 80s, absolutely brilliant, can't fault it. I think we put Midnight Express on there as well, which you've definitely got to watch, Chris. That is just the ultimate prison movie. It put me off going to Turkey for life. I wouldn't go near the place now. Um, and there was another one, Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde. I remember going to see, I think it was Live and Let Die, the Bond film at the Pictures, 1973. And I remember coming out, and on the wall, it was three screens. It had just gone to three screens, I believe, then. There was a poster for Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde, and the image of the face on the body of the Ripper just scared me to death. It just, I looked at it and I couldn't stop thinking about it. Now that's another movie I've got to track down, and I did find it this morning on BritBox, so I'm going to be having a look at that to see whether the film actually lives up to the poster artwork. I would suspect it probably won't, because we're going back to 1971. So the film is 50 years old. Uh, I get the feeling the poster artwork I'm going to think is more disturbing than the actual film, but we shall see on that one. You also put a post on about Halloween Ends, the 4K release coming in December. I think that's going to be a US release, looking at that. Um, but I will certainly be grabbing a copy of that. I mean, I quite enjoyed it. I'll give you my full thoughts on the movie tomorrow, but I didn't find anything objectionable about it at all. So I will be grabbing that 4K when it's released in the UK. Another one I put on was Gone in 60 Seconds. I made a bit of a prune of myself with that one, because I put the original poster for the 1974 version, thinking that nobody had heard of it. Jason had heard of it because it had come up in remakes, reboots, and rehashes probably just a few weeks ago. And I believe Mark Bailey, I think he'd heard of it as well. So I was trying to be a smart ass, trying to introduce people to a movie that they probably never even realised existed, and it backfired. So, yeah. Death Wish 4K. Definitely be grabbing hold of a copy of that. Now, that is almost certainly a US release, because it's released by Kino Lorber, which are obviously a US based company. So, but as 4Ks are multi-regional, region free, I almost certainly will be grabbing a copy of that, depending on how much it is. I love Death Wish, the original. It's as brutal as hell, controversial as hell, especially for 1974. But I really enjoyed it. I thought Bronson was brilliant in that. So I almost certainly will be grabbing that one. And I completely agreed with your Halloween trilogy, or what you consider to be the proper Halloween trilogy, which is the original from 78, the sequel from 81, and third H2O. Now, that is probably what I would have thought as well, actually. If I'd have looked at it long and hard enough, I'd have thought, yeah, that's about right. So yes, I do agree with that. So that's you sorted, Jason. Mark Bailey, loving these bits of trivia that you're putting on. I've never heard of any of these. That's why I'm enjoying it. I especially enjoyed the Ghostbusters Afterlife fact, or I think you called it an Easter egg, about the post-it note on Egon's daughter's board. I thought that was really, really clever. I mean, who the hell spots these things? Just turning my page over. Just give me a sec. Who the hell spots these things? I mean, I don't watch it. I watch movies fairly closely, but not as closely as I would spot anything like that. So yeah, I'm loving those, mate. Keep them going. Dave Lowe, that Steelbook ring that you've got, the Ring Steelbook edition, superb, beautiful looking thing. Love the VHS cassette design of the front. Hopefully now with the Steelbooks we're going into things like that with sort of unusual designs, because I think they look great. So yeah, I really, really like that. Callie, not had time to watch the first episode of Honey Geeky's showing. I think you started season 2 this week. Not had a chance to watch it yet, but I will be taking a look at that over the next couple of days. Love your Living Dead collection, by the way. I think the only ones I've got are Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. I think they're the only two that I've actually got. Zombie Flesh Eaters. I believe I bought that on Blu-ray not too long back. Not watched it yet. Not a great fan of the splinter through the eye scene, as you probably imagine. But yeah, it's a cracking little collection you've got there. Um, what else we got here? Cult Lords, JR and Dane. I started watching your Werewolf by Night review, and then it came up that there were a lot of spoilers in it. Now I want to watch Werewolf by Night, so I kind of turned it off, but I will come back to it when I've watched the movie. We can compare notes on that one. Um, let's see. Sazerac Rye. I presume that's a whiskey. We had a comedian, a comic, over here in the 1970s, name of Dave Allen, and he was never without a glass of whiskey and a cigarette. So I kind of get your approach with that. You two have got great chemistry. I really enjoy your videos. I saw the video of you did of the Hellraiser trailer reaction. The movie I've not seen, but I really enjoyed your review of that, and it's good to see you guys posting on the group as well. So keep them coming because I'm enjoying those. What else have I got here? Blade Runner. It's getting a 4K release. I believe it's already had one, but there's a Film Stories box set, and I believe there are a few others coming out. I can't remember what they are. I should have written these down, but it looks a very nice set. But Blade Runner has been released so many times now on sort of. I remember having it on VHS, then DVD. I haven't bought the Blu-ray yet. I'm very tempted by the 4K because I'm told the transfer is absolutely stunning. And then all of a sudden I read that this Film Stories box set is coming out. So depending what it's got in it, I may stick that on my Christmas list actually. I haven't seen Blade Runner for ages, and again, it depends on which cut that you get in, because I believe there are 3 or 4 different versions of it. One I think called the Final Cut, which is Ridley Scott's vision of what he wanted it to be. So that's probably the one I would go for. But again, there are 3 or 4 of them out there. Devil's Triangle. I put a poster up when we were having fun with the 70s posters last Sunday, I think it was, for a movie called The Bermuda Triangle. And I think I've got it confused with something else. There is a movie, or was a movie, about 1974 called The Devil's Triangle that was narrated by Vincent Price. I mean, the Bermuda Triangle is creepy anyway, but with Vincent Price's narration, it just took it up to the next level. The version I've got, Jason, because you look quite impressed with the poster artwork that I put on. That poster artwork, I believe, is from an actual feature film, which I've yet to find. The one I've got is this. Now, I got this off eBay. This is The Devil's Triangle. This is the one narrated by Vincent Price. I haven't watched it yet. I got it a few months ago. But it's one that I do want to get round to having a look at, because I haven't seen this since I saw it at the cinema, mid-70s. So yeah, I got this off eBay. If you want a copy of this, that's where you're going to find it. But this is a cracking documentary. It's only an hour long. But as I say, Vincent Price's narration absolutely makes this. I'll try and take a look at that sometime over the week, and I'll let you know exactly whether it holds up after sort of nearly 50 years. I'm pretty sure it will. But that's the version to get. If you want to get the one that I was talking about that I confused with the Bermuda Triangle. So, what else have I got here? Oh, I did Joe Raven's top 10 last week, and I never thought to take a movie off that list. I normally take one movie that I've not seen off everybody's top 10 and add it to a list of must-watches. The one I'm taking off his list is Ready Player One, which I've never seen. He highly recommends it. We were talking about this week, and he says it's brilliant. He thinks I'd like it. It's not actually based on a computer game as such, I don't believe, but it's very sort of 80s oriented, so he thinks I'll like it. So I'm tempted to order the 4K. Has anybody out there got the 4K? Can tell me what it's like, what the transfer is like. I get the feeling it would be absolutely stunning. If somebody out there can tell me that it's good, I'll order the 4K, and I will add that to my watch list of movies that I've taken off other people's lists, which I've got here somewhere. Here we go. Off Will's list, I've got Free State of Jones. Chris, I've gone for Interstellar. Guy, I've gone for The Big Lebowski. Simon, The Other Guys. Scott, Hacksaw Ridge. Steve, Primer. Space Trucker Bruce and Tremors, that's off Matt Bailey's list. And I've written down Ready Player One. I'm almost certainly going to go for that one. I just need to know whether to get it on 4K or not. I think that is pretty much everything today. That's pretty much the roundup of everything that's been going on the ChitChat Facebook page. I'll be back tomorrow with Ali Raven's top 10. I did Joe Raven's last week. Ali is his brother, so he gave me his top 10, which I've got here, which I'll be reading out tomorrow, chatting about. I'll be doing a couple of reviews, Halloween Ends, and a couple of other movies that I've had a chance to watch. There'll be soundtrack of the week, and I'll also be showing you my first 4K haul. Voice is going. Yeah, I've got probably 3 4K movies that I've had for months in readiness for when I upgrade it to 4K, and I've also bought 2 or 3 others, so I will be showing that off. I know, Dave Lowe, you were a bit disappointed because I teased this last week and didn't actually get around to it, so I will be showing those off tomorrow. So thanks for joining me today, folks. If you've enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up and also subscribe. That would be absolutely amazing, and I'll be back with you all tomorrow morning. Thanks ever so much for joining me, and enjoy your Saturday. Take care. Ta-da.